Okay, today you have Q&A, and on your first 120 Q&A, your proper names are Mary, East Templar, Angie, and Nancy. This will be 120 Q&A, number 1 for 5 minutes. Ready? Mary, as you were driving along East Templar after the gun was pulled, what did you do?
Stopped along the side of the road.
You say you stopped along the side of the road?
Yes, Angie said we were just waiting for all the cars to pass so they could let him out.
You planned on letting him out of the car?
Yes, Angie said we just wanted the car and we'd let him go.
Do you remember what road it was that you were on, Mary?
No, I don't anymore.
What type of area was this, the road that you stopped on?
We had fields on each side of the road.
There were no houses out there?
I don't remember seeing any.
How long did you sit there on the side of the road, Mary?
Oh, I would say it was just a few minutes.
Then what happened?
I think that we went on a little further because there were cars coming every time we turned around. So we went just a little bit further east and turned on a side road.
You parked again. Okay. Then what happened?
They had him put the car in park and just sit there. He kept saying, "Just let me go and I won't say anything."
When you said they had him put it in park, who do you mean?
Angie and Nancy, they told him to put it in park.
Okay. And then what happened?
Then Angie told him to empty his pockets, and he started to do that and handed the stuff to Angie.
Do you recall seeing what was handed to Angie?
There was a wallet that I can remember. That's about the only thing I can really remember.
During this time, was that gun out in view?
Yes, it was.
After he emptied his pockets, what happened then?
Well, he talked to Nancy every now and then, trying to get her to let him go.
What did Nancy say to him?
Well, Nancy didn't say anything to him. Angie was the one that kept telling him he would see death if he didn't shut up.
Nancy didn't say anything to him?
Not to him. She kept hollering at Angie to shut up. She was trying to make him feel comfortable, like she was on his side or something.
During this time, was Nancy talking to Angie?
She wasn't talking that much. She was trying to get Angie to shut up and leave him alone.
Was she saying anything to the man who was driving?
No, not too much to him.
What happened then, Mary?
I don't know if he tried to move or what, but all of a sudden a shot went off and there was paper flying in the car.
Who fired the shot?
I don't know. I didn't even know it was a shot. It sounded like a firecracker going off, you know?
Then what happened?
Then his body started to move, and as a reaction, I grabbed him by the shoulder. Nancy and Angie were kind of grabbing too.
All right. What was he doing?
He was kind of jerking around. Then another bang went off. I felt air going by my hand, and I pulled my hand back, and there was blood all over my hand.
During this whole time, where were you sitting?
I was still sitting behind him, the driver.
Do you recall what Angie was doing? Do you remember anything she was doing at that time?
She was yelling at us to shut up and to check the guy out.
Okay, and on your 120, number 2, you have Sally Smith, Nevada, United States Attorney, U.S. Attorney, Mr. Moore, Reno, FBI, Portland, and Ted Graham. This is 120 Q&A number 2 for 5 minutes. How old are you now?
23.
When you used that name, you knew you were misleading someone, didn't you?
Yes.
It wasn't your true name?
No, it's not my true name.
When you used it, you were aware it wasn't your true name, weren't you?
Yes.
And you used that name and told someone something other than the truth because you wanted to get your desired result. Isn't that right?
I wanted to go into a bar.
Well, the result you wanted to get was admission into the bar. Isn't that right?
Yes.
You knew that if you told them your true name and true age, you wouldn't be allowed into the bar.
It was a fictitious name.
Right. So you used a fictitious name to get into the bar where you wanted to go.
Right.
And when you used that fictitious name, you knew that you weren't telling the truth.
Yes.
Isn't it true that you used that name when you were questioned by the police on several occasions about your identity?
I don't understand your question.
Well, did you get arrested for drunk driving and, when questioned by the police, give your name as Sally Smith?
No, I didn't.
What is the sentencing date for your case in Nevada?
September 17.
What penalties are you facing there?
1 felony charge.
What is the maximum time in prison you may face on that felony charge?
I don't know.
You pleaded guilty without knowing what the maximum term was?
Yes.
Were you represented by a lawyer?
Yes.
Did your lawyer tell you what the maximum term was?
I can't remember.
Are you expecting someone from the United States Attorney's Office to advise the court of your cooperation before you are sentenced in Nevada?
It doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter to you whether or not the U.S. Attorney's Office tells the court that you cooperated with the prosecution?
Well, if it helps me, that's fine. But they have already figured out my sentence, so it doesn't matter.
You haven't been sentenced yet, have you?
No.
Are you aware that you haven't been sentenced until judge tells you what the sentence is?
Yes, I'm aware of that.
So are you expecting the United States Attorney's Office to inform the court of your cooperation?
I'm not expecting them to do anything.
When you testified in response to Mr. Moore's questions on direct examination, didn't you agree with Mr. Moore that any cooperation that you made here would be made known to the court in Nevada?
Yes, but I'm not expecting them to do anything. Why should they?
Well, that was part of your agreement here before testifying, wasn't it?
No.
When was the first time you talked to a representative from the FBI about this case and your trip to Reno?
Sometime in June.
June of this year?
Oh, the The first time I talked to them was in Reno when I was in jail. I'm not sure of the date.
How much time did you spend in the jail in Reno?
28 days.
And while you were in custody, were you met by a special agent of the FBI concerning this case?
When I was in jail, I was met by an FBI agent to do the composite drawings. That was it.
In connection with the descriptions that led to the composite drawings, did you tell the investigating agent what happened during your trip from Portland to Reno?
Yes,
When was it that you first met Ted Graham?
on January 12th, I believe.
And don't forget that when you can replace judge with court, that you cap court, okay? Because it was in there several times. And also, oh no, FBI was there. Okay, we're gonna do your 100s. Okay, on your first 100 Q&A, the only proper name you have is Portola Street. So this is 100 Q&A for 5 minutes. Ready? How old was your daughter on the day of the accident?
She was 19.
Were you carrying anything with you on the day of the accident?
Just my purse.
Did your purse have a strap you can carry over your shoulder?
Yes, it did.
Do you remember what the weather was like on the day of the accident?
It was a rainy day.
Was it raining when you were walking back to your car with your mother and daughter?
Yes, it was.
Do you recall how hard it was raining?
It was just starting to rain, so not too hard.
Did any of the three of you have your umbrellas up?
No, it was just starting to rain.
Were you each carrying an umbrella with you?
Yes, but they were closed.
Where were the three of you coming from?
We had been out shopping.
You said previously that your mother has arthritis. Is that correct?
Yes, she does.
How old was your mother at the time of the accident?
She was 81.
Was your mother walking slowly at the time of the accident?
Yes,
Does your mother use a cane to walk?
yes, she does.
Were you and your daughter also walking slowly in order to accommodate your mother?
Yes, we were.
Did your mother need any help other than the cane she was using?
I was holding her by the arm.
Where was your daughter walking?
She was behind us.
The accident occurred excuse me, on the sidewalk in front of 190 Portola Street. Is that correct?
Yes,
Can you tell me exactly what happened, please?
I was walking my mom out to the car and I stepped right into a hole in the sidewalk.
What happened as you stepped into the hole?
I fell back and hit my tailbone and hit my head on the sidewalk.
As you fell, did your mother fall too?
No,
Have you ever seen these photographs before that I am showing you?
I saw them this morning.
What do these photographs depict, if you know?
They show the sites of the accident.
Do you know who took these?
No, I don't.
Do you know when they were taken?
No, I don't.
In this first one I am showing you, does that appear to be a truck?
Yes,
Can you please point out to me in this photograph where the hole is that you stepped into?
it's right here by the tire of the truck.
There appears to be something sticking out of the hole. Is that correct?
Yes,
Was that there on the day of the accident?
I don't know.
Was it your right foot or left foot that stepped into the hole?
It was my right foot.
Was the hole large enough for your entire foot to fit into?
Yes, it was.
What would you say the diameter of the hole is?
I don't know.
Would you say that it is at least a foot wide?
Yes,
Would you say the hole was at okay, your next 100, you have Eddie, Otis, and James. This is 100 Q&A number 2 for 5 minutes. Ready? Do you recall what you did after you got up?
I started cleaning up.
When you say started cleaning up, what were you cleaning up?
The house.
Do you recall who was in the house at that time?
No, I don't.
Do you recall if your mother was there?
Yes, she was there.
Do you recall if Eddie was there?
No,
No. Do you recall if Otis was there?
no,
Was anyone else there?
I'm not sure. I don't remember.
Do you know if James was there when you woke up?
I don't know if he was outside or inside somewhere, but most likely he was there.
Okay. So you're cleaning the house after you woke up. Did you stop cleaning the house at some point?
Did I? Yeah,
Do you recall when that was?
about an hour later or something.
Okay. Do you recall what you did after that?
No,
Do you remember if you left the house that day before he fell?
no,
You don't remember or you didn't leave?
I don't remember if I had left or not.
Do you remember if you ate lunch that day?
Yes, I did.
Do you remember what you had?
No, I don't.
Do you remember what time you ate?
Yes, around 11.
11 in the morning?
Yes,
Do you recall if you ate breakfast?
that was breakfast. We don't eat as soon as we open our eyes.
Well, you had been up for an hour and a half, right?
Yeah, I mean, I might not have ate, but when they get up, they pick and eat whatever they want until someone grown cooks something. So there's always something there for them to get.
Do you recall what you did after you ate breakfast?
No,
Do you recall about what time in the day your son fell?
Yeah, it was around 3:30.
Do you recall what you did from the time you finished breakfast until about 3:30?
No,
You don't recall what you did?
no,
Do you recall what day of the week this happened?
no, I don't.
Why don't we work back from the time that your son fell? You said that it was approximately 3:30.
I said somewhere around 3:30.
Do you recall what you were doing just prior to that time?
No, I was just in the house.
I think you said before that you thought you were in your mother's room.
Yeah,
I'm going to give you a pen and ask you if you can just draw for me, just starting with the outline of the porch.
I can't draw.
What was its outline? What was the porch shaped like?
A box.
If you were to walk off the porch and into your mother's apartment, what room would you be walking into?
The kitchen.
Now, would the kitchen run the full length of the house, the full width?
What do you mean by the full width?
Well, your mother's apartment, was that the... Okay, that's all for your Q&A. Good luck.